ultimate purpose is not survival. It's finding purpose in what you love. Pumped to be branching out and being like, hey, we're going to sit down and have a couple-hour podcast.
Is it, dude?
Run me through the story.
We just like talked for 5 minutes.
I didn't think I was
though?
going to make it, but luckily you guys were on the way, and I wasn't sure if it was
I've always been inspired by
so
this shit.
I left my house.
Dude, that pizza was so greasy.
The other day when I checked, like,
It was not disgusting.
It said it was about a
Disgusting.
45-minute drive out here, so
Noodle
I thought I
Salad.
timed it well, but then I looked in like rush hour traffic, so I was going to be a few minutes late. So I texted you or messaged you being like, "Hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to be a few minutes late." You said, "Okay." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to grab a sandwich too," because I didn't say that, but because I haven't eaten anything. So I stopped at Arby's, grabbed the Angus cheese steak, and then I'm pulling like out of the parking lot. He's going right, and I'm planning on going left. And so he makes that move, and he's kind of clear to go. Not fully, but he's in like a souped-up Subaru, so I was like, he's just going to commit to it, I think, in my head. So he starts to move up as if he's going, and then I look left to make sure I'm clear to pull forward to like kind of poke out.
Yeah.
And I was just totally looking left, and I hit, my
So you
front
thought he
right.
was leaving, and he stopped again.
He did not leave. Luckily, he was a very nice guy, because it was totally my fault. There was no other way to spin it. But what did suck is that he wanted to wait. He wanted to file a report, so we had to wait for the cop.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be like, "Come on, dude," you know. I had to be
I have
like,
somewhere
"All right."
really important to be.
Yeah, I did. I made him feel bad, which felt weird because I just asked him, like, what's the ETA on the cop? And he's like, "Oh, I have no idea." I was like, "I just want to know if I need to cancel what I'm about to go to." And he saw my Arby's, and he was like, "Oh, you got DoorDash?" And I was like, "No, I'm supposed to do a podcast." It's such a weird thing to say to anybody. And then he asked me what my podcast was. And I was like, "It's not mine. I'm a guest. I do local stand-up comedy." It was a very embarrassing admission. I was like, I'm nobody. You know?
I always feel like I'm telling people that I'm like super into like Lord of the Rings or something, like cringy as fuck.
My North Seal tattoo right here. Yeah.
I accidentally nailed it.
Yeah.
No, but like anytime I tell people I do stand up, I'm like, they're like, oh, there's like 2 or 3 things that always happen, and so it's like, oh, I got something for you, or tell me a joke, or do you get paid? And you're like, no, stop.
Yeah, I have stock answers. I'm like, you get a couple of beers, maybe $20 if it's a bar show. Like you maybe get $300 for hosting a weekend at a club. Yeah, you're not making money. You're not doing it for the money.
No, you're doing it
Yeah.
because of the obsession.
Mm-hmm.
But those oh god, this question. I don't even like talking about the podcast at work, but I do. But
Yeah,
just because it's like,
people
oh, this is what I'm
find
doing.
out. They found out that I do stand up, and it's always brought up. Like even at my old job, I just started a new job. My new boss knows, and he wants to come see a show, but he's always like, "Yeah, we're afraid we're gonna come and the material's all about us." And I was like, "It's not. Like you got nothing to
You
worry
aren't that
about."
You guys are
relevant.
not interesting at all.
No, yeah. I mean, maybe down the road there will be some stuff, but it's like totally different than what they think it is. Like if they've never done it, and the bar for entry is so low, so they could just go do it a few times and kind of get a feel for it. But even at that level, sometimes like you're a little delusional.
Right.
I think throughout the whole process, you're like you got to be a bit delusional.
You have to be, because it's
Yeah.
so much work for like
Nothing.
such a minute percentage of like actually making a living off of it.
It constantly messes with your heads. You see other people that like started at the same time as you doing more shows during a certain period, and then all of a sudden you're booked on like 5 shows, and so it's constantly messing with your head, and you're weighing yourself against your peers.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I feel like I've kind of started to get to the other side of that. I'm sure it'll come back, but when I first started, I would get like jealous, I guess, of other people getting on shows. Or certain shows, and then you just realize like there's so many shows, different groups, like you can get involved like anywhere. It doesn't like this person is not, they just opened for somebody famous, but it means like literally nothing. Or it does mean something like to put on a resume. Like Patty Rooney opened for Pete Davidson, which is amazing, and she is definitely on a trajectory to do well. Like she keeps like her head in the game. But then like 2 weeks later, I mean, to her credit, she's willing to do whatever. But 2 weeks later, I'm closing out a backyard show, and she's like one of the people on the lineup. Like from just, It's just crazy. Like it's a constantly humbling experience. So I think.
Yeah. And it's hard to, that's one thing that I have found that's kind of hard, is to like keep rooting for everyone. And,
Yeah.
And because like you don't want that resentment to creep in, because it doesn't negatively affect you to have someone be successful or like
No,
do a
yeah.
good show or whatever, you know. But like, man, there is part of it that's like, fuck, man, like what?
Yeah,
You
there
know?
is. There's some people will say like, you know, there's room for everybody, and to an extent that is true in different times. And there's like some truth, like the number one advice that like old comics will give is like be undeniable. And there's like some truth to that. It sounds weird. It's like, how can you just be undeniable? But it's like you keep working at it, and then if you're getting laughs at every show that you're doing, like that's pretty undeniable. And as long as you're not a dick, you're gonna get booked on stuff. It seems
Right.
like even if you are a dick. Just produce your own shows.
Right, yeah, right. Well, most people won't produce their own shows because of laziness. You know,
That
like,
is true.
The one thing that I found, like just talking to artists in general, you know, whether it's tattoo artists or comedians or musicians, whatever, it's like the vast majority of people are just like dreamers without any kind of you know, agency.
Yeah, waiting for something to happen for him. And I mean, I for sure was guilty of it in my 20s. I think when I hit 30, because I dabbled in stand-up a few times. I'm 35 now. I dabbled in stand-up a few times, like at 19, and I think I didn't have a strong enough backbone. Like I had people telling me the reason I'm not funny is because I'm too young at that age. Still get laughs from crowds, but like you really internalize that from like your comic peers or people that you look up to. So I was like, maybe I am too young, don't have enough life experience, kind of stopped doing it. And then 25, tried it again and kind of fell off. And then when I hit 30, I was like, I'm just going to kick myself in 20 years if I just don't do it, you know,
Right.
Regardless of where it goes. I just like being involved and like having I think my main goal has always just been like, I want the people that I respect, like people who I respect their comedy to feel the same way about what I'm trying to do. Type of thing, because it is a really long road, and nowadays like you got to super grind on social media to make it, and then sometimes I feel like people make it too soon because of social media. They have a clip that goes viral and pops, but they're just not ready to carry that. Like they've had several good bits, but I think that happened a little bit to Matt Rife. He's hot, so that helped, but like
Right.
he is really good at crowd work, and his first special did okay, then immediately like, you know, like I think he was like, I gotta strike when the iron's hot, so he puts out a new special and it's like garbage.
Terrible.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's because he just wasn't ready for like that level of fame.
Right. Yeah, I mean he popped off like he was like going to be the next, I mean, Dane Cook, that's a loaded thing to even say, but like he popped off like
Similar
he's gonna be the
vibes.
next,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like this silly guy who's a good-looking guy who could like absolutely lead in a movie, you know, because he's handsome and he's fun, and girls like his style of humor. So like he has all these things going for him. But my God, that second fucking
it was rough.
special was like, holy fuck,
It was
like,
rough.
what, you know? But I don't know, like But then you also see like Nepo babies, and you're like, I like when Nepo babies fail.
Oh, it is good to see. Yeah, it's
Like Brennan Schaub.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Is he a Nepo baby?
Well, because not
He just
really. No, that's not the right word for him, because it wasn't his family, but like his friend group was like he was a UFC fighter, and
Yeah,
then
and
it was
that's
like,
how he
oh,
got
my
in with
backup
Joe.
plan is fucking stand up and podcasting, and then he like
Yeah,
did a
he's just
Showtime
not
special
good.
like a year into his stand up, and it's like, dude, who the fuck is ready at a year?
Nobody.
Like I can't
Yeah.
like 10 minutes is hard at a year. The fuck are you gonna do, an hour?
Yeah, that
You
is
know?
insane.
What are you doing over there?
Looking up who you're talking about.
Brennan Schaub.
Yeah, he's
You have
you
to
might
be in the
recognize
Rogan.
his
You have to be in
face.
the Rogan sphere to.
He had a
that
podcast
one.
with Brian Callen. Was that
Yeah,
that
the
guy's
fighter
name?
and the kid.
Fighter and the kid. Yeah, because there was the clip that went viral after Chris D'Elia, where Chris D'Elia finds out that Snapchat messages can be saved, and you see it in his face. Like, shit.
Yeah. Well, did you ever see the clip of Brennan crying because of how upset he was about Chris D'Elia getting in trouble?
I might have during that time.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen this guy.
yeah, well, you probably
It's
won't.
not worth. Yeah,
he's basically just like a marketing douche now. Like
is that what he's doing?
he's like, as far as I know, he's like just selling like supplements on his social media pages, and then like he
That
might
makes
like
sense.
flip a vehicle and like pimp it out and then sell,
Oh.
you know,
I thought you meant actually
Tickets.
flip it.
like
Yeah.
sell
He's
tickets
really
to
strong.
What are
win
you
it.
talking about?
He is a strong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Dude, I've been listening to like Rogan and that whole group of guys forever, and as soon as he started like getting put on episodes with Rogan, and then I like dabbled into listening to the fighter and the kid, I was like, this guy's not. He's not
Yeah.
a comic.
No.
He's not a comic at all. This is like a backup plan. This is like the cringy, like,
Yeah.
you know, child actor who doesn't know what they want to do, but they want attention. So then they do stand up instead of, you know.
For sure. That does. And it bums me out when I see those people enter the scene. And I know, like, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. And obviously, like, there's a part of me that likes the attention. Like, and that is kind of the reinforcing thing, you know, wanting people to like you or whatever. But I really love comedy and I love good jokes. And I think about that a lot. And it bums me out when I see people enter the scene that don't really have the passion for the comedy. They just have the passion for themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of times those people succeed because they're really good at being whores on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, God, I resent that. Because
I know.
because I'm like rewriting my jokes 100 different ways to make it work. And then
Yeah.
I see somebody go up there and just be like, I'm so black. And you're like, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't even comedy.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
just
this is a personality.
This is just you being a cult of personality, and not necessarily it's not I'm so black. It's like a lot of the times it's I'm so what is my thing that differentiates. I'm so short. I'm so fat. I'm so whatever the differentiating
Differentiating factor.
Thank you. Differentiating factor is, and then you're like, well, this isn't even what this is supposed to be. Like it's just
No.
like
Yeah, I mean, go on TikTok then, I guess. Like, I mean, the thing with stand-up is, like, immediate. Like, the response from the audience is immediate. I guess it's not like that on TikTok. But, like, those people, like, there is, like, I hear it from, like, little cousins or friends that have younger children, like, in their teens and stuff. And, like, one of the number one things that they all say they want to be is an influencer, which is, like, what does that even fucking mean?
Right.
Like, you just want to be yourself and want people to like you for being you,
Yeah.
you know, which is what everybody wants. But, like, you want it on a global scale. You got to do that on TikTok, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, it is a weird ass thing to be like, oh, I want to be an influencer. Yeah, but what is the skill involved? Like, you just want to be the next Kardashian?
It's like holding up a product and being like,
look at me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You ever see that Asian lady that, like, she holds up, like, products for, like, a split second, and she
No.
makes, like, millions doing it?
No, that's amazing.
It drives... Stuff like that infuriates
I
me because
know.
I try so hard at all the things that I do, and then this bitch is literally just like, and like every product placement that she like does
That's so crazy.
pays her like hundreds of dollars, and she rakes in millions of yen or whatever, and and it's like she's adding nothing to the thing that she's holding up. There's no content at all. Like it's just flash the thing that someone paid me to put on the video.
That is. I tell myself in the back of my head, like, it's, you know, it's new money. They're going to go in debt, like, you know, the people that win the lotteries, and they'll hate their lives in a couple of years. At least that makes me feel better. Because there's also, like, the kid on YouTube, which I guess he does a little bit more, or did a little bit more. I never watched the videos. I just heard this. One of the richest, like, YouTubers was literally a kid that just unboxes things.
Oh, yeah.
And other kids want to look at it.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. Like, I want to see
The
what this
Ryan's
toy is
toy.
like. Is that what it is?
It's
insane.
He's
Well, his
one of the most famous ones.
Yeah, Ryan's Toy World or whatever. But like, well, he did. I mean, they would do content of like, because my oldest is about Ryan's age, so like he would watch those videos, and it wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm opening this up. It'd be like, oh, hey, we got sponsored by Nerf, and then like this is the challenge that we're doing in our house with the Nerf guns, and then so there was like interesting content attached to the product placement. You know, like
I feel like it started though
like,
as an unboxing. I don't know for sure though.
I don't know. I mean, it might be kind of a hybrid thing, but like there's like the most boiled down version of it is that I think she's Chinese lady that literally just lifts up a product, throws it off to the side like into garbage, like literally it's just garbage.
That's so crazy.
Over and over and over again, and she makes millions doing it.
The ones that make me feel weird are the adults playing with children's toys.
That is.
And then
haven't
kids just
seen
watch those all day.
Yeah. I got some weird stuff on my algorithm that hasn't come across yet. My friend mostly sent. Actually, right now, my friend is sending me. It's a bunch of like dudes. They're really bloated, and that's just like that's the point of it. They're really fat and in speedos, and it's like it's supposed to be sexual. That's what he said, and that's filling up my algorithm at the moment. There's big nips and everything.
Dude,
it's kind of crazy. There's one guy full leather, big boy, just slapping. Yeah,
his leather outfit.
Yeah.
Just,
oh yeah. Yeah. And like what's crazy is it's they don't have a lot of followers, but they're committed to it, and I guess you just get in that algorithm. Like it's not. I don't think Instagram wanted to be pushing this on me. I think my friend went looking for it and just started like feeding it.
Dude, my buddies are these guys from the trades also that are sending you the shit?
Yes,
because I feel like they're
he's
all
a carpenter.
I feel like we're all broken in some way. Like,
he's 100% broken.
everything, dude. If I went into my messages from like all my pipe fitter buddies, it'd be like, dude, you guys are fucking not good people. Like, like
something's wrong in your head.
my buddy like exclusively sends me anti-Israel fucking videos that are like fucked up. Like, not just like, oh, they're doing kind of bad, they're doing bad stuff that we don't like. It's like, hey, this is. Stop sending me this. I don't want to be guilty by association.
It's
like,
ruining. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be on a list.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want Netanyahu to fucking take me out, dude.
They're coming. I mean, what scared me today was what Mom Donnie just. What did he say? He called out Benjamin Netanyahu for being a war criminal. There's no way that
doesn't backfire in New York.
I mean, he's definitely. It's gonna. I don't know what it's going to do. Obviously, it puts him, like, I mean, he was already, like, somebody that you'd have to worry about being assassinated. Yeah. But,
being a socialist, being Muslim.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like, a lot of targets on your back, being a New Yorker.
100%. Like, what they ran against him was just, like, it was, like, so blatantly, like, racist and off base. But, like, him doing that, like, it's not like, I don't think the mayor of New York, I don't even think he should be commenting on it personally. I like him. I believe in his politics, and I don't like Netanyahu, so that's like whatever it is. But if Netanyahu came to New York, I doubt like he would be able to convince the New York Police Department to get Netanyahu. Not that would Netanyahu even come there. It was just an insane thing to see, like the mayor of New York calling out.
Well, it's performative, right? Like
in a way,
like your power doesn't have any influence over the war that's going on a couple thousand miles away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it boils down to being performative. So is it Mamdani trying to, like, when Mamdani was in these debates a year and a half ago, it was Mamdani didn't exist. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's killing them. He's killing Cuomo. He's killing these guys. He's all these soundbite viral moments that happen in all of these debates.
Yeah, when he was the only one that said he wasn't going to go to Israel. That was a huge viral moment during those debates. Every other person I'm going to Disneyland.
The
first thing they do,
but they're all talking about I'm going to Israel.
Kind of weird, yeah. I mean, that was
because they're bought and paid for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, AIPAC. We have that going on right now with
Haley Stevens.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, Haley Stevens has something like $50 million either pro her or anti. What is that guy's name?
Abdul Al-Sayed?
Sure, that sounds right. That sounds like a puzzle.
It
sounds like a Wordle.
Yeah, I have to say it's slow, just so I don't get it wrong and don't look like an asshole. Same with Kamala Harris. I was like, because Kamala Khan is a comic book character. Kamala Harris. They say it's spelled the same way, but they pronounce it differently.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta say this slow so I don't
say
look
it
like a
right.
dick. Yeah,
say it right. Don't fuck it up. No,
yeah,
but there's something like $50 million from essentially Israel, pro Haley Stevens, anti Abdul Saeed. Is that
yeah.
Right? And it's gross, but like, I don't know. I don't know how that is going to affect Michigan if the people see that and go, okay, we can't keep going with the status quo here with Haley Stevens, especially with the shit that's going on with Israel. Like, we can't buy and sell propaganda to ourselves. Like, it's crazy.
I hope so. Yeah, it's like, how the hell do we get out of it? Because it's like both sides are bought and paid for. You know, like and then you hope. How many times have like a group of people hope that this person is being truthful and then they're going to do what they say they do? And then sometimes I feel like it's just the way of the world. Obviously, certain types of personalities seek those positions of power. But I think sometimes it's just the way of the world. Like, you get corrupted without even knowing it along the way. Like, you accept money from somebody like to help your campaign, and then all of a sudden you're beholden to like their requests.
Right.
When certain bills go through, they review it and are like, hey, this is going to hurt us. You can't. And it's like, my constituents want that. It's like, well, we just gave you $50 million, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I like to believe that it's good people, and it's just a really fucked up system, but.
It's absolutely a fucked up system with all these super PACs and lobbyists that are buying and paying for bills to be pushed through that the people are so obviously against. I mean, all the shit with Flock, all the shit with data centers. I mean.
Oh yeah, everybody's turned on Gretchen Whitmer now too.
Yeah, I mean, what a dirtbag
on her way out. Like, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Like, you sold us this product that of who Gretchen Whitmer was, which was she's this tough Midwesterner mom, and she's gonna do the right thing for the people, and we're gonna fix the fucking roads and blah blah blah, or fix the damn roads. Oh my god, she swore. How fun!
Yeah,
and and then she flip flops, and like this open AI basically requests to build in saline. They say no, and they go, well, we got $1 gajillion and your annual budget's $1 million, so we're gonna sue you until you can't say no. And then they sue their way into the township, and then Gretchen Whitmer's there with a performative shovel, breaking ground, acting like it was this is the site that's gonna cure cancer. Oh, is it? Is it? No, it's the site that's gonna cause cancer for all these people that live in Saline. You fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's insane. And I wonder if she's thinking about campaigning for the presidency, because that was in talks, certainly like vice presidency for Gretchen Whitmer. I don't know if it's just living in Michigan and people are like, maybe Whitmer. But I wonder if like that part of that is people that are, corporations or billionaires that are going to support her campaign in the future. That like, is this an early deal in that process?
It absolutely could be. I mean,
I don't know. I really don't know.
It would be a smart investment to go, hey, this company that's at the forefront of the next biggest industry.
Literally the next radio, like then radio, TV, phone. Like it's crazy. AI is like the next thing that everybody's going to be walking around with.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I tell you what, I have cognitive dissonance over this because it's such a powerful tool, and I feel like any tool, if it's used with morals, isn't inherently bad. But when you look at what the companies are doing to create the tool, you're like, fuck, like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, okay, so like, should I not use this to, do certain things? Like, should I not use it at all? Well, these AI tools are being trained on real people's art, real people's music, real people's writing. I mean, a cousin of mine posted that it's this oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the word, plagiarism machine, that it's this giant plagiarism machine. And when I read that at first on her page, I was like, whatever, like fucking Jesus Christ, like dye your hair bluer, like that was my first instinct, is like, fuck off. Like, you can't be anti everything you're told to be anti. Like, it's exhausting to, and then, but now that I'm reading more about it and learning more about these AI data centers and the way that these companies are, my brain's
Are you having a hard time there?
I am, because I literally slept 2 hours last night.
The words aren't coming out.
The way that these companies are, like, there's a word I'm trying for here, and it's not coming, but
that's all right.
They're confrontational. They're aggressive. The way that they're going about their business is dirty. When you find out that a company sues its way into a township that people don't want it in, and you can tell that the council is bought and paid for, they're dragging people out of these township meetings. They're having their police and sheriffs as their hired guns, their hired thugs, to drag the community out of the room, so they can't even say that they oppose the thing. It's like, what the fuck is happening there?
Yeah, that is scary. And I wonder, for those situations, like at those corporations, like how many people are making that decision? Is it like through a pipeline? Is it because they're so disconnected from who it's actually affecting that they're okay with making this decision? I mean, I don't know everything. I didn't even realize until maybe like 6 months ago that how much water the data centers take up. I had no idea. I was just like, it's stored in this box, and the box doesn't hurt anybody, So
see, that was my impression too. So like we were talking briefly before the podcast that we're both in the trades, and I'm a pipe fitter. So these cooling systems, these cooling towers, are something that I build, probably on a yearly basis. I'll end up working on some cooling tower system. So when I had the band Breakfast at 2 p.m., their CDs over there, Breakfast at 2 p.m. on, me and Michael, the guitar player, were kind of debating this. And I was like, you're like, no, dude, this is not how this works. It's not constantly feeding water from the water supply to cool this off. Like
It's recycling?
It's supposed to be. I was mistaken. I like when I started reading into these AI data centers, it seems like they're more often than not open loop systems instead of closed loop systems, meaning that they're off gassing so much water because it's when you're trying to cool something down with water, what happens is that the water gains BTU. And if the water gains so much BTU, which is British thermal unit, it's essentially the energy that's equivalent to one match. That's 1 BTU.
Oh.
When the water that's supposed to be cooling a system is gaining so much BTU, eventually it changes state, and that state is into steam. So your water goes from being able to cool to no longer being able to accept any more additional energy, thermal energy. It goes into this cooling tower where you have fins, and the water trickles down these fins. The idea is to get the cool atmosphere to pass through the water droplets to cool the water back off and then recycle through the system. Water gets hot, goes to the cooling tower, water trickles down this waterfall, and the ambient air outside cools the water back down, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be a pretty good system. There's always off-gassing because there's a gigantic fan at the top of the cooling tower that exhausts. It blows cool ambient air across these fins. So there's always water loss, but it's not supposed to be as significant as it is in these AI data centers. So you have I saw a clip of Aaron Brockovich talking about this, and it's like something like 50 million gallons a day at some of these.
I can't even comprehend it. Like, same with gas. Like, I'm like, how the fuck have we still got oil in this earth? Like, every single car on the road, like, it's, and then, like, all the plastics. Like, how do we still have it? And water, I mean, yeah, that's another one. Like, I like to take baths, and I know that takes up more than showers. But it's just crazy. I'm like, everybody's showering, and the water's still here.
Yeah.
Right.
How?
I see this. These are the thoughts that I don't think about until I watch like a zombie movie or like an apocalypse movie. I'm like, how does that car still run? You're gonna tell me they're just driving around in this world with fucking zombies, and then that car just works?
Yeah. Oh, that was full of gas. Yeah. After nothing rusted out. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Oh, the EMP wave didn't take this one out. Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, doing this podcast, I feel like I should like research into these AI data centers more.
It sounded like you knew a lot, dude. I was like,
I don't even understand why they are using water.
because all of these computers.
Is it like a dam? Like they're using it to make the energy, like how a dam does. Is that what it is?
No. So at the data centers, they're going to have their own powerhouse, so they probably, if I had to guess, they're probably using natural gas to burn
But for what?
They're gonna at the data centers, they're more than this is assumptions based on like what I've seen in my career, is that any large building that has a huge power draw is going to have their own powerhouse. Every hospital has a powerhouse, every auto plant has a powerhouse, whatever. So at these powerhouses, a lot of times they use natural gas burning, like steam boilers. So they'll burn natural gas to create steam, and that steam will turn a turbine, and that turbine creates electricity. And then electricity that they create is to help subsidize what they would be drawing off the grid that the grid could absolutely not handle, because it's it's not a house you're just plugging into the grid. It's this massive building. I mean, some of these buildings are hundreds of acres inside.
And what's going inside of them?
So what's going on inside of them are these, I mean, just picture miles and miles and miles of computers, hardware, or hard drives, just towers and towers and towers of these supercomputers, essentially, that are all connected to each other, that have access to each other's data.
Are there people in there?
Barely. Barely. But the main thing that the water usage complaint is about is keeping these computers cool. So you have these massive computers that are drawing tons of energy, and that energy has to go somewhere. As you're running this thing, things are spinning, there's resistance in the computers. All of these boards and mother chips and fans and all of the things that are going on inside these hard drives and computer towers and whatever else is in these fucking rows and rows and rows of computing technology or whatever, they're all creating heat in different ways. The resistance in the chips, the spinning of fans, etc. And you have to keep all that cool.
Like in the school computer lab was the only one with air conditioning.
Yeah, well,
so would it get too hot in there?
Yeah, exactly. So like there's always going to be an IT room in any corporate building. Those IT rooms have to be freezing cold because the computers and towers and whatever generate so much heat that they'll destroy themselves without being cooled off. So that's where the cooling towers come into play. You chill water and then you blow air past that chilled water, which adds BTU to the water but removes BTU from the ambient air in the building. So I think the only reason it's controversial is because of the aggressive nature of people, of these companies getting into small towns that don't want them there.
Yeah.
These councils being bought and paid for, and then the water usage where there's noise pollution. That's a huge thing. The noise pollution is huge. I mean, there's a constant ear-ringing screech that comes from half of these data centers. And
Well,
yeah, and I mean, there's people recording like something like 70 decibels at all times from their front porch. Like, imagine just a jet, just like whoosh all the time.
that's nuts. I would have thought it was like a hum.
Yeah.
Just because I guess my tower hums at home.
Right, but picture 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then water being depleted so severely because of the makeup water, because what should be a closed loop system isn't sustainable because of how much heat they're trying to get rid of. So they're off-gassing that water into steam in the form of steam into the atmosphere. So they have to make up that water by depleting the system that wasn't built for a data center. A lot of times these grids of water mains are built for small farm towns like Saline, that it's like, all right, you have a town of 3,000 people. Well, now you need enough water for what's essentially like 300 Walmarts worth of space.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it scares me with like the Great Lakes, like having all that fresh water here. Like I feel like if things keep getting hotter. My buddy moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and the summers have been getting hotter. Like he said that their summers there are like our winters here, where people just stay indoors because of how hot it is, as opposed to how cold it is in the winter here. But if like people start moving like north, like Michigan's got to be prime, for apocalyptic type events or anything like that. I feel safe here sometimes because I'm like, there's no way another country's going to bomb this area, especially if they're trying to take us over because they're going to want this water.
Yeah.
But it worries me, like stuff like that, like ruining the Great Lakes, like the fresh water that we do have here, like because it's got to be prime. Like I'm sure Nestle has its eye on the Great Lakes for sure.
Well, that was a big thing people were talking about when Nestle got that no fucking oh Jesus Christ, my brain is not working today. I should have drank more coffee. They had a zero bid contract where they basically got a bid to, or allowed to take water from the Great Lakes to bottle it and ship it off elsewhere. And I remember there was a number, something like they were concerned that they were going to take 2 inches of water in the first year out of Lake Superior or something.
Whoa.
I got to Google this. I got to fact check myself because my brain's not firing on all cylinders, and I'm about to use a liter of water by asking Grok.
Oh, no.
That's funny. Well, you just explained water towers in a very believable way. It sounds
I can't
It
wait
made
to
it sound
get
real.
torn apart in the comments. Like, you got that all wrong, you fucking piece of shit.
I mean, you didn't pause or anything. It sounded like you knew what the fuck
I
we
know,
were
I
talking
didn't.
about. I had no idea. I was like, there's fins in these things? The water trickles down?
Yeah, I didn't understand why there was water for computers.
Yeah, I guess I've only known it as a cooling thing where I think the water is just cold and it runs like through wires or through like tubes by the stuff to cool it down.
That could be part of it too. Yeah, I mean, we definitely,
I don't have one, but
we definitely so like liquid cooling is definitely a thing in private computing.
yeah,
But for me in this industry, we piped a lot of welding robots. We piped what they call weld water to these welding robots to keep them cool enough so that they don't melt to whatever they're welding.
Wow.
So I mean, so that's my only experience with it. I've never done any piping to like data centers, so I don't know how the tie-ins work. It'd probably be a more efficient way to cool if they tied directly into these systems to run water right through them, right where the issue is.
Yeah, it's all above my head.
Okay, so with the Nestle water thing, this claim circulated online for years, but it isn't supported by the numbers. Nestle, now much of its North American bottled water business has been sold to another company, has held permits to pump groundwater from wells in places like Michigan, not directly from the Great Lakes. The amount of water withdrawn from those permits is tiny compared to the volume of the Great Lakes. Removing 2 inches of water from the surface of all 5 Great Lakes would require an enormous volume, in the order of trillions of gallons. No single company's permitted withdrawals come anywhere close to that. That said, groundwater pumping remains controversial. Critics argue it can affect local streams, wetlands, and aquifers, even if it has a negligible effect on the overall water level of the Great Lakes. So while 2 inches off the Great Lakes claim is false, there
You're
are
making him draw the
legitimate
Michigan state sign. I think you lost it.
the legitimate debates about the local government
ADHD.
impacts on bottled water extraction. Okay, so it was not a false memory. That was a real thing that was circulating online, but it's incorrect. And they're not pumping water directly out of the Great Lakes. It's out of underground groundwater.
Groundwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what's okay? Being a pipe fitter, are you doing tallies on pipe fitting? You fucking.
Is that what's going on? That's
dude.
hilarious.
It's fucking.
He's got a passion.
It's good times. Noodle Salad bingo.
I tally how many times he says it.
Such a fucking.
That's
dweeb.
funny. Yeah.
So one of the things I found out about in my career as a pipe fitter that I didn't know about before was that a lot of Michigan is on an ancient coral reef bed.
Oh.
So we use natural gas obviously to heat everything for comfort heat in the winter. So what these natural gas companies all around Michigan do, they have compressor stations. If you're ever driving up and down the road, you see these fenced in areas you'll see a big pipe, like a 12-inch diameter pipe coming up out of the ground over. There's some components in it, and then it goes right back down into the ground. Kind of looks like nothing. You're like, well, whatever that is, it's just a pipe that goes up and out.
Yeah, I think I've seen it and just never questioned it. I'm like, that's
So-
how
That
it should
looks
be.
like it should be there.
So what that is these natural gas companies will buy natural gas when it's cheap in the summertime when the usage is really low, and they pump it down into the ancient coral reef beds, and it gets trapped in the porous rock underground. And the amount of off-gassing, which is losing the natural gas through absorption or whatever, is normally less than how much the price difference is from winter to summertime. So these companies will buy natural gas, go and pump it into the coral reef beds and store it there throughout the summer. And then when the usage increases, they'll pump it back out of the ground and go and tie it into the supply for people to heat their houses,
That's
cook on their
crazy.
stoves.
I did not know that at all. I knew some ancient stuff about, I guess, Michigan. I did not know that we had an ancient coral reef under there. Do you know we have a Stonehenge in Lake Michigan?
We have a Stonehenge
At the
in
bottom. It's
Lake
at the
Michigan?
it's at the bottom of Lake Michigan, and I think if I remember reading right, it's older than Stonehenge in England. I think it might be a little bit smaller, but it's like under Lake Michigan. It's clearly man-made or whatever. It's just eventually was covered up. I don't know how old it is. I think they said it's older than that Stonehenge. I don't know by how much or whatever, but I learned that like a year or two ago, and it kind of blew my mind. I was like, we've had a Stonehenge here the whole time.
Is Stonehenge?
I don't know what that is.
Is Stonehenge?
It's the circle of rocks, like in Europe. It's like a really famous. Some people think aliens or whatever, but most people think it was like
It's kind of like a
constantly,
calendar, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
it's for
like
the stars, like or at
tracking
least
the
it lines up.
solstice or something.
Something like
Dude,
that.
let's just keep using up water.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Also, fish wall. You ever heard of fish wall?
No.
Oh.
This has nothing to do with anything. I think it was just because of water and ADHD. But in the ocean, there's like a huge glob of about like 60, I think between 60 and 70% of all ocean life is in this glob like that moves around the ocean. And I guess it's like a huge contributor to the ecosystem of the ocean or whatever. But it's like so many fish. Like it's just its whole... I can't even like explain how big it is, but it's big enough to the point where they couldn't. The way that they found it was because they were trying to get a measurement of how deep the ocean was at certain points, and then they started to notice that at this certain area or whatever, the depth would like rise or go like a lot lower or whatever, or disappear, and then they realized like there's like this giant fucking group of like ancient, like, I mean, they're not ancient themselves, but just it's been happening forever.
So they were actually thinking they were hitting the bottom of the ocean with whatever LiDAR or whatever, but they're actually hitting this huge school of fish of just billions of fish.
Yeah. Yes.
Dude, that's really cool.
Yeah, and most of the makeup is like tiny fish, but it is like 60 to 7% of all ocean life is in that.
No way.
Giant.
That's crazy.
I call it the fish wall. I think it has an actual name.
So there's like a surviving ecosystem within this school of fish of like just death and birth and just
I think
eating each other and it just kind of keeps going around the world.
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild.
Fish wall. There is an actual more technical term for it, but I'm sure if you looked up, like, there's a fish wall. And what surprised me finding that out, my wife actually found it out first and then was telling me about it, and then I looked more into it. I'm like, nobody's fucking talking about this giant fish wall. Never heard of it at all.
No. All right, I'm going to look that up next, but okay.
Sorry.
No, I love this. This is the kind of shit I like doing because, like, the last podcast we did, we literally talked about nothing for 2 hours. We just cut each other off with we were just cutting each other off with stupid references, trying to derail what the person was trying to say for fucking 2.5 hours.
That's funny.
Okay, so, all right, Stonehenge in Lake Michigan. Yes, but it's often described more dramatically than the evidence supports.
Oh, man.
In 2007, underwater archaeologist Dr. Mark Holley discovered a line of stones and a small circular arrangement about 40 feet below the surface in Grand Traverse Bay, part of Lake Michigan. While surveying for shipwrecks, I fucked up the intonations of that. Because the lake level was much lower after the last ice age, the site would have been on dry land thousands of years ago. The nickname Lake Michigan Stonehenge is misleading. It is not like the famous Stonehenge in England with large standing stones. Holly himself has said the media exaggerated the comparison. He describes the site as primarily a long line of stones with a smaller circular feature, not a true henge. There have also been reports that rocks may have mastodon carvings, but that has not been conclusively verified. Okay, so
same but different.
Yeah.
Same but different.
Either way, it's ancient.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. The mastodon carvings on there.
Okay, so what is it? What is a henge? Because
I never heard that. Like it's not a henge. I'm like, what the fuck's a henge?
Does that just mean like a circle?
That's
a henge is a type of prehistoric earthwork, not simply a circle of stones. The defining features of a henge are circular or oval bank of earth, a ditch dug inside the bank. This is what distinguishes a henge from a defensive fortification, where the ditch is usually outside. One or more entrances through the bank. Inside the enclosure, there may be standing stones like the famous Stonehenge, wooden posts called a timber henge, or sometimes nothing remains inside because wooden structures have decayed. Okay, so what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose?
He's really going into this. Is this what we're doing this whole podcast?
You were talking about fucking nail dip on the last episode we put out, so...
powder? Is it?
Don't.
Sorry. My wife does it. Well, now she's got her whole, a whole other kit. She does something else, but she was dipping for a while.
God
damn I was too, and I switched last time.
The plot twist I didn't expect.
Nice. I gotta get them redone this week, but I switched to gel builder.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I don't know. Thinner than dip.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. I like it. better.
I don't know what my wife uses now, but she's got like that blue machine too that like glows or whatever.
Yeah, that
It's
can
like
be
the
used for
UV light
different.
to
Yeah.
seal it in. Why am I
That can be used for a lot of different types of nails. Because you just reading off Google is not it,
I'm not reading off of Google.
or whatever
Okay, so
AI you're reading off of.
astronomical observations, essentially, is what a hinge is for. Sometimes
Yeah.
burial sites.
That's what I thought, or I guess that's anybody's best
What was the other
guess.
thing we are going to look up?
Oh, fish wall.
Fish wall.
Wall of fish.
What's
Hopefully this one isn't like Grok's like, that's just a fucking lie. The guy that told you this is an idiot. Fish wall
You weren't
exists.
completely
fish
wrong.
What?
You weren't.
Yeah. It just kind
Basically
of...
the same thing. It just sounds like it's smaller or not complete.
Yeah. Yeah, I just downplayed it. I didn't appreciate the way that AI was like, it's not that great. You know?
It is severely. Okay,
Yeah.
Here we,
and I know you can hear me. You just wanted to dig at me. No such thing as fish wall.
Your wife was lying to you.
Yeah. No, I looked it up. There is what the hell was the actual name of it? Because it's got like a technical name.
Marine life in a single giant school.
No, the deep scattering layer is what it's called.
Deep scattering layer. This is a worldwide layer of billions of fish, squid, and zooplankton that migrates up and down in the ocean each day. Early sonar operators even mistook it for the seafloor because it reflected sound so strongly, creating what they called the false bottom. Bait balls, sardines, anchovies, and other small fish can form enormous, tightly packed schools containing millions of individuals to defend against predators. And spawning aggregations, some fish species gather in huge numbers at certain times of the year. The deep scattering layer is probably what you're thinking of, is one of the largest animal aggregations on Earth, but it is not a single school. It exists in oceans around the world as many separate layers and groups. Scientists do not estimate that it contains 60 to 70%. Do not estimate that it contains 60 to 70% of all marine life. It does contain an enormous amount of the ocean's biomass, especially small fish and zooplankton, but not the majority of every type of marine organism.
Oh, maybe that's where... Okay. So it is still 65% of biomass, but not...
But not all marine life.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Okay, so that's a weird differentiation, because it's like, oh, well,
It wanted you
it's
to be
small
wrong
fish and
again.
zooplankton, but
No,
not.
he's not technically right.
Yeah, that's it. See, those are the weird nuances that kind of get dropped as you tell, like, oh, dude, do this.
Oh, dude, all the time I
Yeah.
read a headline of an article and I just make assumptions and I'm like, this is the truth.
Well, also, like, there's so much to learn, and
It's
then
too much.
It's too much, and
It's
then
too much.
you read about something like, oh, dude, that's fucking this thing, and then someone like repeats it, and then you play telephone, and then like 5 people later, it's like, dude, did you know that all of
Every single fish
in the ocean
Is-
is in one spot?
Okay, they have a big problem with the wall. I think that's what Trump's been talking about.
It's trying to build a wall of plankton, dude. That's what's gonna keep them out.
But yeah, deep scattering layer.
Deep scattering layer. That's a cool name. That'd be good. That'd be a good punk band name.
Yeah. Fish wall is not a bad punk name either.
Fishwall's not bad.
Fish wall.
Deep scattering layer. I feel like there's like a cum joke in there.
Probably several.
Or like a shotgun range. I don't know, whatever. Okay. Deep scattering layer. That was Kurt
You got
Cobain's
it.
last thought.
Oh,
All right.
my
Yeah,
God.
the fish wall. That's why he did it. We can't take on the fish wall.
Oh, dude, I didn't bring this up to you, but I in my Facebook memories, I shared on 4th of July, like 10 years ago, I shared a picture of George Washington that said, "I want you to open this fucking pit from sea to shining
I've
sea."
seen that.
I just thought that was so I
That is
completely forgot to bring that back up to you, because we were like doing the stupid open the pit shit at a wedding.
From sea to shining sea. Yeah, I just saw Hamilton for the first time, and I hadn't I went through a musical theater phase. I had like theater friends or whatever, but I never really was into musical theater. And Hamilton was like the big thing. What did it come out, like almost 10 years ago now?
Yeah.
But everybody was talking about it and like listening to music, and I had heard some of the songs. My mom bought us tickets around Christmas, I think, to go see it. So me and my wife went and saw it with her. And it was a good show for sure. I didn't know that they were like historically like a rework or whatever. Like George Washington comes out and it's a big black dude, and I was like, hell yeah, this is George Washington. Yeah, it was a surprise. But all of the historical figures were cast like as a different race. So
Yeah.
it worked. It was a good show.
My buddy, we were talking about how my buddy at work, I was talking to him about how my daughter got like obsessed with Moana, and I'm like, I love like Moana's got one of the greatest soundtracks for a
good movie.
a Disney movie. You know, it's like every song's a banger. So I'm like, I know all the songs now because I like sincerely like them. And he's like, if you think that you got stuck listening to Moana, wait till your kids find out about Hamilton. And he's like, and he's telling me that like his kids like they drove from like Austin back to Detroit or whatever, like from a family.
Just listening to Hamilton.
Just listening to the Hamilton album over and over.
I've been in
and
those
over
car
and
rides.
over.
Wicked was like the big thing when I was in high school, like towards the end of high school. So, and all my theater friends were obsessed with it. There was other ones that they were obsessed with, but Wicked was huge. I might have even been in junior high at the time. I forget, but I just remember everybody like, "We're defying gravity," like singing like all the songs like popular.
Was that the first musical that like got you into musicals was Wicked?
So I would say I was never fully into musicals. I have a few favorite ones that I think are really good shows. I thought Hamilton was good. Jekyll and Hyde is a really good one. If you ever can find, I mean, I would listen to like the original Broadway cast recording, but there is like a really funny version of it online where David Hasselhoff plays Jekyll and Hyde.
Fuck off.
And it's as good as it sounds.
I need to be the right amount of high.
Yes, it's a good show, and it's a live recording too of like the stage performance or whatever. So you see him turn from Jekyll and Hyde, and it's very comical because the show is very serious, but it's like David Hasselhoff. That's a good show. Family Opera's always been good. Les Miserables, some of the more dramatic ones, but like. I was really into musical theater because my friend group, like I wanted to be closer to my friends, so I got into it through that. And then after kind of like growing up and going our separate ways, I was like, I don't think I actually really like musical theater. Yeah. No offense to it. Like there's some good shows for sure. But I always get taken out of it once they start, especially that unless they're being so not meta, but like self-aware that they're like in a musical that this is silly or whatever. But when a lot of times when they're taking things seriously and all of a sudden break out into song, it's like it takes me right out of it.
Yeah, you're like this is so. Like,
and then we're all dancing. Okay,
right. Yeah. Oh man, what a dramatic thing! You should probably walk up and down the aisles singing at us.
yeah. It's just it's such a weird human thing. I mean, even when I was younger, my mom put me in dance classes and stuff, which was fine. But like the whole time I was in it, and even now, I'm like, man, dancing is such a weird human behavior. It's just
really is.
It's just an odd. Like I hear this noise, and all of a sudden, I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
I have to be like the right amount of fucked up to like get past the insecurity.
Yeah, it's really tough at a wedding. Like if you're doing a wedding and you're not drinking at all, it is very tough to get on the dance floor.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, I had a year and a half of being strongly advised to not drink.
Oh yeah,
and
that's fair.
So like
I've been there.
going to those events when the state of Michigan is like, hey, don't.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck. And then everyone's like,
what about this
laughing and like talking shit. And I'm just like, I'm so tired. And these people are so fucking dumb right now.
It's the worst. Yeah. I've had a DUI and not been, and followed it. I've had friends and family that have had DUIs and still continue to drink throughout it. I don't know how they like.
How do you get away with that? I was so scared the whole time.
Same. I have one buddy who like, he would go to the bars. I think he just has a super fast metabolism and he would get hammered like and be there till 2 a.m. and then have to drug test the next day and
get away with it.
He would go at the end of the day, I guess, I don't know, drink a lot of water or whatever, and then it would be clean.
Jesus.
So but I never really tested.
I stopped cooking with certain things when he was on probation because
we went
I wouldn't use hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Yes. They put a monitor on my ankle. First DUI I've ever had, never been in trouble before. For 3 months I had to wear a scram device.
They treat you like you're a fucking murderer.
I was
Isn't that crazy?
Did you hit someone else?
No.
Oh,
no. I had pulled myself over. I was leaving my friend's wedding. I shouldn't have driven. My wife had organized somebody else to drive me home. I just got too belligerent, drunk, and like I don't remember it, but it was like refused. I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. You guys clearly was not, or I don't know if I was like they just didn't want to deal with me. Either way, I got in my car and I drove, and then I remember I came to, I made a left onto a street and I had hit something in the median, like a something separating or whatever. And so then I immediately pulled over. Yeah, maybe I did.
Hopefully not.
No, I don't think I would be here right now if I had hit somebody. Thank God.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Because that was the shame of it afterwards was probably the biggest thing for me. I was like, that's so disappointed in myself because I definitely shouldn't have driven, and it's not like something that I did often. But I was really hammered. Left my friend's wedding. Hit that thing in the center.
Jessica.
And Jessica, who's no longer with us. And I pulled myself over into a gas station, I think half thinking, like, I think I'm too fucked up to drive. Also, like, I should check what damage this did to my car. It was just like a little bump. It wasn't anything. So it really didn't do anything to my car. But as soon as I had pulled myself over, like, not even a minute later, I think the lights were, like, on behind me. So they were either following me or just, like, saw that.
Yeah.
And they were really nice. Apparently, and then I come in and out because I was still really drunk from that, and I was really worried the next day. I was like, was I a dick to these officers? Apparently, I was very nice. And the lawyer that I got for that said that was a concerning sign because my BAC was so high or whatever. He's like, if you were that drunk and like you were still being like pleasant or whatever, I'm worried you have a drinking problem.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, well, and not that I certainly. It's a gluttonous thing. Like, I was never drinking every single day, but there were certainly times like I would have like 2 or 3 beers and then it would turn into 20 or something like that. And that was one of those times. But I think honestly, just my natural way of being is pretty pleasant or whatever. Just want people to like me or whatever. So I imagine that's how I was when I was really drunk with those cops. I just wanted them to like me, even though I just drove drunk.
One of the when I got arrested, I asked if they had fuzzy handcuffs because the handcuffs they gave me hurt.
Got fuzzy. Yeah, they were really tight. And I actually on one of the podcasts I had seen a clip. You had said something because I had to go through the therapy or whatever that the court ordered. You had said something about. Like, I think maybe I should be in therapy for some stuff, but it's hard to find a good therapist because one that takes you seriously, you said, like, you want to find one that doesn't find you funny.
Yeah, that was huge.
Which, like, I get that, too, because I had to go through this therapist thing, and she was like, I don't know if it was my charisma or if I was just making her laugh or whatever it was, but she wasn't convinced that this was an issue. Like, she was talking about me drinking again, and I had to convince her, like, I think I'm not gonna be drinking for a while, or whatever. Yeah. Or at least like just on special occasions. But it was interesting. Like I related to what you said because I was like, maybe not find me funny, but like can see through that bullshit of like me wanting them to like me, and like there's like a front that I can't that's just always there or whatever that I need to find a therapist that can see right through that. Yeah. And tell me what I needed to hear, because then I started to have to shape our therapy sessions so that she really understood what I was like at least trying to figure out, like if I had a real problem and like where it would come from or whatever. But I always default to being like more jovial and like charismatic and everything's fine.
I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword that on average I think the social services are dominated by women, but there's also the thing of women being less confrontational with men, especially in a setting of being one-on-one. So it was hard for me to find a therapist that was domineering in a positive way. And like the first therapist that I was with for like a year, like we made a lot of progress together, but she was also a fan of me. You know what I mean? Like she'd come to grab me and I could tell that she was like excited. Yeah. Like, oh, this is going to be okay. At least I have a good hour. The rest of the people. Yeah. And I'm like, and like, I used to be like, well, it feels good that someone like likes talking to me, but also that's not why I'm here. Like, I'm not here to be your show monkey. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to like use your training to push me in the right directions here. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I remember confessing some like serious things to her about like purpose and concern and suicidal tendencies and anxiety and depression and like all this stuff that like is heavy. And it would almost be like, she reminded me of like a friendly aunt who kind of doesn't really give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? She'd be like, oh, honey.
I know the type.
Oh, honey. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, I'm telling you that like I have these like obsessive thoughts about like, suicidal ideation is like the most extreme thing that I've ever like had a hard time getting past. And I would have these like obsessive thoughts because it wasn't that I wanted to kill myself. I've never wanted to. I've just wanted to escape situations. And then like my obsessive, anxious brain would go, okay, you know what's fun is you can just fantasize about it all of the time. So it's like, oh, you have a minor inconvenience. Yeah, well, I could just fucking blow my brains out. Then I wouldn't have to deal with this fucking problem, or my ex would bring up a fucking thing or there'd be a new problem that I have to solve for her because she was barely autonomous. And I'd be like, well, I could just fucking hang myself in the closet and I won't have to fucking worry about that dumb bitch doing something else that I got to fix. You know what I mean? And so like I was having these like, and I think it was just like a super, in hindsight, I think it was a super unhealthy way of coping with being in situations I hated.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an escape or a plan to get out of those situations. So then I just obsess about like, here's my escape route,
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I can relate in a certain way. I have horrible self-talk like in my head. Like things go wrong like slightly, or I'm just reflecting on things that weren't even bad, but I just internalize them as bad and just talk about how stupid, like I'm a fucking idiot,
Yeah.
Stuff like that, or like even saying like,
Were your parents like that?
Because like bad self-talk.
Yeah,
my dad for sure.
I keep hearing that like your parents' voice becomes your inner dialogue, and
I don't think that they ever did that to me. Like
maybe to themselves.
Maybe overheard like to each other. I was kind of like a space case when I was a kid. Like my parents thought I would have been on like the spectrum today, and I might be on the spectrum. I for sure have ADHD or whatever, but I think like my sister remembers a lot more of our childhood than I do in like detail. I think I was just like off in my own world, and maybe some of those things were internalized. But my dad for sure had depression, was an alcoholic. He's 10 years sober now. He was suicidal. All those things. So that maybe there's a component that's genetic to it. His mom, same thing, and his brothers. My uncle's passed away now from addiction. So I think they're like in that line. But then there's also like an inciting event where my grandma lost her first kid before my dad was born, and that apparently is what incited her alcoholism. So there's like a little bit of maybe it was environment. They grew up around that. But then you look at her brothers and like my grandpa's family, and they're all alcoholics. So like for sure genetics like and environment like made that cocktail.
Are you sober now?
Yeah, for the most part. I'll drink on special occasions.
So it's kind of like you reserve it for a reason to.
Yeah, because the thing like I can do it, like I could have a beer and like totally be fine, but it doesn't do anything for me. And so after I drink it, I'm just like, what the fuck was the point of drinking? Like all that. And then I'll have two and I'll start to feel like a buzz, or maybe I will feel the buzz, and that'd be great. And I can sometimes cut myself off there, but then it's like third, fourth. And then like, I just want to chase that feeling, which I think is what addiction might be. So it's just something like I really have to keep an eye on and just be like, even when I am like, if I'm having a beer, just like make sure like I'm not getting into that headspace of like
making sure that your intentions are are good and good for you.
Yeah, and then getting the DUI, like it scares me from drinking and then driving.
Yeah. I think Paige has a lot of parallel ideas with you because of addictions and in her family. I mean, you could speak for yourself, but I see you bouncing your head as he's talking. So, but like you are
that I'm careful about how I
go about
drinking.
Drinking. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a ton of addiction. In my blood, so I just try to. If I will drink, but I have to be very mindful that it's not like a consistent thing.
Not a zero consequence thing.
For sure.
Maybe.
Fortunately, my wife is not that way at all. She can casually drink and enjoys a glass of wine or whatever. And she's very good about telling me when I've stepped over the line, or like that's somebody that I really don't want to disappoint. Like if she before, like if I would drink too much, she would like her quote unquote like she feels like she's lost her person, and I don't want to make her feel like that. So it's good to have that. And I have like friends that are we do kickball like recreationally. And play a ton of board games together and like do activities that aren't centered around drinking, which is kind of hard to find.
That is hard to find, man.
Nowadays. So I'm very fortunate to have like that, and to have a partner or whatever that is very supportive of it, or like is willing to help, and
I did sorry.
I was just gonna say that I feel like I'm fortunate to like have recognized before it was something that like became a problem for me, because it definitely probably could.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, same. I'm glad that like with the DUI, I'm really so glad I did not hurt anybody, because I don't think I could live with it.
Yeah, it'd be terrible, a nightmare. I worked with a guy that got blackout drunk and ran over and killed a homeless guy, and he ended up doing 8 years in prison for it. And he I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, but just knowing that story like scares the absolute shit out of me, because there was a lot of reckless behavior out of me when I was going through it's not a divorce, but it might as well have been, because me and my ex were together for so long. We had 3 kids together, like high school sweethearts, and then stayed together till we were almost 30. So like going from that, going through the end of that, there was a lot of shit I was doing that in hindsight was like, holy fuck, that was dangerous. Like and then hearing stories where it's like, oh, it did go wrong for this guy, and this guy spent almost a decade in jail, and he killed somebody, and he's got to live around that now. It's like, fuck, man, I was so close. Like I was in the neighborhood of that being my life story, and
I feel you. Yeah. My mom's high school best friend, she was 18. I think she was 18. She might have been 17. Her name was Elizabeth. Her boyfriend was in a band in Chicago, so she drove without telling her parents to go see the band. And then did see the band, was coming back home, and was literally like not even a mile from her house, and a drunk driver hit and killed her.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, and I knew that story too, so I had every reason to like not get into a car drunk or whatever.
That's the thing with these horrific stories, is like when you haven't gone through them directly, it seems like there's a disconnection there. It's kind of like when you're you're making stupid decisions in your early adult life.
You're invincible in a way.
Yeah, and your parents are like, "Hey, don't do that. Don't get the credit card. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't knock up that idiot. Blah blah blah." And then you do all of those things. You're like, "Fuck, they were right about everything." Like, damn it, why couldn't I just believe them? You know. But
I do find that as I get older, like the things old people said, like, are like those tropes that, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it's like more and more true. And I find myself saying stuff that's similar,
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully we improve upon our parents, but a lot of times we grow up to be just like them.
Yeah. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. And I don't think I have. And I don't think my parents, no knock on them. Like they had their own struggles for sure. Like 2 kids on accident, trying to figure that out when they weren't like in a stable situation in like their early 20s. And I don't even have a kid, and I'm in my mid 30s, so I couldn't imagine,
Yeah. See, I had a kid at 19, so like my oldest oldest is 13. I'm 32. My oldest is 13.
That is so crazy.
So like I've been a dad since I was 19 years old, and like, and then I had 3 by the time I was 25. So like I just like jumped like head first into the whole adult, life, being a dad.
My wife's mom as well, 19 when she had her.
Yeah. It's hard as fuck. Like I would like. We've had this conversation in 100 different ways, but like people have asked me like, oh, if you could go back, and I wouldn't change a single moment of that suffering, because then my kids wouldn't be here. And how horrible would it be to hear your dad be like, "Oh yeah, I'd kidding me? I'd fucking hit that reset button so fast." No, absolutely not. I would suffer in all of the exact same ways. Yeah. To have my kids again.
So you had to grow up real quick,
dude. It was I got kicked out of my mom's house at 16, and I moved in with my dad. And me and my dad have never had a good relationship. And then, so that was like a year and a half, 2 years of like just severe turmoil, kind of being made out to be this like, this redheaded stepchild who's running the streets and doing drugs, which it wasn't true. I was like skateboarding with my buddies, and I was too scared to smoke weed back then. So like,
it's funny. I was a skateboarder and I didn't smoke weed either.
Yeah, I was too scared. Else did. Well, right. Everyone else did. Yeah. But like, so I'm just like trying to fucking learn how to do like pop shove at sex changes or whatever annoying, like I'm going to get a letter on you tricks.
Nice.
And then my buddies are getting fried at elementary school. And then I'm getting yelled at for being high. And I'm like, I'm not even high. I've never smoked weed. I'm so scared of it.
Yeah.
But But like, yeah, so like I had like 2 years of just like horrific turmoil living at their house. And I was like, I can't wait to get out. And I had a girlfriend that me and her shouldn't have never dated. Like we were just buddies that started fucking. And then it was like, I guess you're my girlfriend. And then we just stayed together for like a dozen years of being miserable. But like, yeah. So like I went from like living in an entirely different town. You know, I grew up in Roseville. Then I got kicked out, sent out to Waterford.
Oh yeah.
Finished out my last 2 years of school, you know, in Waterford, and then moved out with a girlfriend into an apartment and just like started a life that I had no business trying to start.
That's
at
so crazy.
18 years old. It was.
I couldn't imagine.
I
was so lost until my like late 20s, I think.
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But I had to feed kids too.
Yeah.
So I was like going through all these like weird, you know, going through like these crises of like, who am I? What is my purpose? What should I be doing with my time? Am I wasting time thinking about art? Am I wasting time thinking about purpose? I should just be turning wrenches and fucking feeding my kids, and I'm being selfish because I want to be an artist. And
I can imagine that internal conflict for sure. Yeah, that's such a bummer to be in that space too, because you're like, I gotta provide for my kids, but I got the music in my soul.
Right,
whatever it is, yeah.
You didn't get into my drunk driving story.
That's your story.
I couldn't get my words in there.
Get in there.
I got hit by a drunk driver in 2021,
On behalf of all of us, we are sorry.
So that's another reason why I'm always like, there's Ubers.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
I was going back from Meyer, and again, like probably less than a mile from my destination, and this girl flew through a stop sign, probably going like 60 or 70 miles an hour, and just rear-ended me and then pushed me off the road. I started like blacking out, and my passenger was like, he's like, Paige, wake up, like, calm down. And then that like brought me back. But had he not been in the car, then I would have probably hit somebody's house, because I was like in somebody's front yard, and then had to like,
oh my gosh,
get back onto the road. And she left the scene. And then the cop came, and she was like, I can see that you're like okay right now. Can I go find her? And I was like, please do. And so she went and found her, arrested her, and came back, found out it was like this girl's third DUI, and she had a hit and run now because she left the scene, and bodily injuries. My car was totaled. She did not.
She didn't sit in jail.
She got 2 years of probation.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Like altered somebody's life.
Like
forever.
My back is fucked for the rest of my life.
I bet. I got somebody hit me. I got an fender bender today. Really no impact. It just kind of crunched some plastic. But somebody's hit me from behind before, and it was just a fender bender. Yeah, hell yeah. And like the next day, my back hurt from just that. So I can't imagine being hit from somebody going 60 miles per hour.
I was in physical therapy for like at least 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 or 3 years.
Did you ever see her again?
I did go to her court date and like spoke.
Yeah.
And that's still the judge like.
Yeah, she just seemed like somebody who didn't give a.
The court system that it was in was more for like helping people who have problems, which like I'm all for.
But also
she deserves some sort of punishment.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Something's got to stick. Like I have no problem with everything that I had to do with my. For my DUI, like I deserved it. I felt that way fully. It sucked. It cost a lot of money, but all that stuff and it really did reinforce like I'm not gonna fucking do that again.
Yeah.
It seems like.
But like 2 years, 2 years of probation. Time. You're like, okay. So
I think they only charged her with
like a year and a half.
They charged her with a second DUI. Like didn't even charge it as a third.
Yeah.
I think her lawyer was like friends with the prosecutor or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was why.
Yeah,
But it's like I couldn't do anything that I enjoyed doing because my back was so messed up for so long.
They treated Paige more like a criminal, like she fucked up because of a lawsuit, than they treated the person who injured her. Like they were like watching her social media accounts, watching her in real life, trying to like say
to say that I was lying
about
and
being
I wasn't
injured and
like I couldn't do anything. I gained like probably 40 pounds because I couldn't go out and I was like a very active person, working out all the time and doing different like biking, hiking, all kinds of stuff,
right,
and I couldn't do it.
and like bowling.
Yeah, I
and,
haven't snowboarded since.
Damn.
Yeah, and then like we would go to like like, oh, we got a kid's birthday party we got to go to, so we're gonna go bowling. And she's like, I'm not gonna bowl. I'm like, and it wasn't even it wasn't even because.
No, it was because of the pain, but also like I couldn't.
She was like a prisoner in all of life because of this bitch, like because she was being watched. And it's like, okay, so like, am I going to risk being sore as fuck and miserable for a day to like play a game? No. But also, if these fucking scumbags take pictures of me trying to have fun, then I'm going to look like I'm a liar. And you know what I mean? And then, like, dude, like
I really wasn't doing anything. Though.
I took a picture of her for St. Patty's Day. We lived in Lake Orion at the time. We drove literally across across one main road to go to the closest bar.
Because I was terrified of going.
Because she was terrified of going anywhere on St. Patty's Day. But like, it's like, all right, you still got to
wanted to go out.
So we went out. We had fucking a beer. I took a picture of her. And I posted, it was a cute picture, so I posted on social media, and then they tried to use it against her and say, like, oh, she's lying about how severely this affected her because here she is holding a fucking boomba of beer.
Yeah.
It's like...
You're not allowed to be happy.
Right.
No, you need to be miserable.
And I mean, to this day, when I'm driving, like, I'm constantly checking the rear mirror.
That's traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I don't think it'll ever go away.
And you have, 6 herniated discs? Is it 6?
5.
5 herniated discs?
I think. Yeah.
Oh my
and the
God.
only way how do you fix that? They cut you from the chin to the sternum. They open up. They pull your fucking throat and all your shit out of the way, and then they can get to your spine to fix it. So it's like, oh, do I risk my life for comfort, or do I just deal with being in pain for the rest of my life?
Fuck? They can't go in through the back?
No, because it's in my thoracic spine.
Of course, the thoracic.
No, but don't take a picture.
That's
enjoying
so crazy.
And having a beer 2.5 years after the fucking accident. Don't take a picture of enjoying a beer.
That's so insane.
Because these insurance policy fucking pieces of shit would rather try to prove that it's not real because she has a beer, and who would have a beer after being rear-ended 2.5 years ago? But, you know, the fucking piece of shit that did it to her pissed in a cup for 1.5 years and was off scot-free, essentially. Fuck that. Like, the system is so...
It is
rigged against the wrong fucking people.
It is. And then also, like, on the other side of it, I mean, that's horrible. I'm so sorry that just continuing to happen to you. And she sounds like a horrible person. I wish she got punished more. I can see, like, also, like, for the people that, like, fucked up, how it's really hard to get on top of it after that happens. Like, if I didn't have a support system, like a wife, the group of friends... and like a steady job or whatever. Because it could even, like, they contacted my work too to let them know. And I was like, what if I wasn't in good standing and like I just got fired or whatever, you know, or if they were just the type of people that like, oh, you got that, you're fired. And then I can't even afford what I owe to the court on top of the therapy, on top of the drug test.
That's the game they're playing. They're trying to make it so that you fail, so that you end up staying in the system.
Because like, I could totally see somebody not having $23 or whatever it is on the day that they call and they have to go piss, and then like they can't do that, then that just jams them up there, and they're, you know, or like they have to figure out a way to get $20. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but sometimes it's a lot of money.
It adds up.
It adds up. It was. I mean, I pissed in a cup for 1.5 years. I was making pretty good money when I was going through it. Not, you know, I wasn't topped out as a journeyman, but I was making, you know, like 7th, 8th, 9th periods wages or whatever, and it was a struggle for me. And I'm like, dude, you know, and.
I was working overtime, like taking side jobs and stuff.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know if did they make you do classes? They made you do classes.
I had to do
like,
therapy.
Yeah. And that was at like $30 a fucking week too.
It was 90, but it was only 6 sessions.
Okay, so I had to do $30 sessions every week for a year.
Damn. Yeah, that's so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how they expect people to just have it like that, because if you can't pay it, then you're just like screwed even more.
Right, and then half of the time that these charges happen, people are losing their jobs, they're getting divorced over them, they're fucking.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, they suspended my license. There was or restricted it. There was a chance they could have suspended it, And then it was like, well, how would I even get to work now?
Especially in construction, where it's like, dude, my job site is not fucking.
And how do I prove it to? And I've never been in that situation before. I don't know if the cops are just like reading my license plate, registering and seeing that I'm a fucker and pulling me over and being like, "Are you being a fucker?"
Yeah.
So I just scared to go anywhere. I would have been scared to go. Luckily, it was restricted, and I have like apps and like proof of like I am working right now. Because doing the trades, you're traveling all around and maybe multiple sites in one day, depending on what you got to do. So it was just like, if I had a suspended license, then like, how do I even get the money to pay you guys to get out of this?
Right.
It was. I'm so glad to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, it feels like a fever dream when it's over, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, and then like, I can't even believe that for 3 months I was wearing an ankle monitor. And like, having to go to work, like I was like, I'll wear loose pants. Hopefully the guys won't notice because I don't want to talk about it.
Right, dude. And that's the most annoying fucking thing, is having to talk about it, having to talk about being in trouble. So mine wasn't a DUI; it was an assault, but it was a fabricated assault. It didn't happen, but it was believed. And, yeah, and so not only was I having to explain to people that I was in trouble, but I was also having to explain that it didn't happen, and then I was having to explain the nuance of why they believed it. Talk about being miserable.
Yeah.
For fucking
everybody. You tell your story to, like, they probably are like, yeah, but you probably did it.
Right. Oh yeah.
And you have to deal with that. Like, even if you're proven innocent, like, I feel like that happens a lot of times.
The person that claimed that I beat them up wrote a letter to the court saying that they fabricated it to get back at me because they were pissed off at me. And I sent it to my sister-in-law, who's a lawyer, and she goes, the only thing that's going to happen is that person's going to get in trouble too. They're not going to expunge they're not going to erase the charges. You have already been through court. So either you completely retry the initial charge, because I pled down to like a misdemeanor that will be expunged when I complete my obligations to the court. Mm-hmm. So it was like, all right, I have to do 2 years of probation, and then it all goes away. If I had taken that new evidence to the court, they would have had to retry the entire thing as a felony, which was the initial charge. And then it would have, like, she's like, this is not going to do good. This is not going to bode well for you. The court's going to be pissed about having to spend all this money to retry this. And that person's going to get in trouble, and you're probably going to be in some sort of trouble. So like, this is just leave it alone. And I'm like, this motherfucker literally wrote up a letter saying that it was completely fabricated, and the only thing that could happen is that it will get worse.
That's so crazy.
What?
Yeah, that's a broken system. Like, yeah, you would think. Yeah, I mean, is that what happens? Like, there's false, like, people have been in prison for like a long time on rape charges before, and then the person comes forward saying like they actually didn't do that. I mean, I guess they get out of jail, but yeah, that time you don't get that time.
You don't
back.
get the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how valuable is that time? I mean, in this case,
Can't
it's
put
like
a number on it.
In this case, it was like, oh, I went to jail for a weekend, which was fucking traumatic and horrible, and then being on probation I ended up being on probation for 1.5 years because I didn't slip up. I didn't deserve to be there.
No,
at all.
Yeah,
and. But I did all of the things I had to do, and I tried to do them with an open mind. I was forced into like these therapy classes for aggression and anger, and I'm like, I'm angry about things that person did to me, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm not this like guy who's just like running around like ripping doors off walls.
I'm really angry.
You know.
Yeah.
So like I was like, all right, well, I'm already in therapy by my own choice. So if I'm going to be forced to go to therapy, I might as well just like pretend that it's another thing I'm choosing to do, and then I can try to get something out of it.
Yeah.
But like to go through that system and try to keep your mind right, and then they're talking to you like you're a piece of shit, and you know what I'd be like, your whole system is a piece of shit. Like, you're friends with the prosecutor's friends with the judge, who's friends with the defense attorney, who's friends with